T, Pike, and Steve-O, fooling on the pod. Talking about Bedford, which A-team is a fraud. Making top 10 lists, hella controversy. Don't be playing cheap, tuck in that jersey. Getting new sweatshirts, A Division dub. Tune in every Tuesday, drop a like and sub. Hey.
That 2 week break really kind of get to you. You forget what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I feel really rusty right now.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's.
It's been a month.
We'll let everybody know. Ben's a little rusty, and obviously the show's a little late because Ben's producing today. Ben, you want to tell everybody? You want to tell everybody why you were late?
I wasn't late by much.
Sure.
Yeah, I get out and vote.
All right. So you voted. So you're okay to tell everybody you
I
voted.
feel like the polls might have closed already. I don't remember, but yeah. No, get out and vote. Yeah, it's worthy of being late for it.
I mean, you had a pretty good quote earlier today. What was it?
What I say? You can't. I don't bitch about stuff without trying to change it.
Right. So I kind of agree. If you don't vote, I feel like you shouldn't be able to complain about things because you didn't try.
That's your one thing.
Right.
Like yeah, there are other things you can do, but like ultimately that is your say.
How were the lines over there?
Not too bad.
Yeah.
My ward's pretty small, so not too bad.
You want to talk about who you voted for, or you'd rather not?
Not in a public forum.
No.
In these days.
That's fair. Did you like my idea though? I think we should have sent somebody over there and do interviews.
It would have been fun.
Yeah.
But what are we gonna say? Hey, you want to talk about politics on our football podcast?
No. I mean, my plan was to send Jake over there.
It would be a good way to rebrand.
No. Jake would just ask, "Hey, I'm with Tambo Time Podcast. I want to ask you a few questions," and then you gradually ask, a normal question, and then they just get productively crazier as you go, and you wait and see if they until they freak out on Jake or walk away.
I would have wanted to send them after the people. Like there's people holding a write-in Joe Biden sign, and then right next to it a crossover and vote against Trump. So I'm like, which one do you want people to do? Do you want to write your guy in, or do you want them to cross over? You had two signs saying to do opposite things.
So, I haven't really been paying attention or watching anything lately. Explain to me this write-in Biden thing.
Apparently, he just didn't see fit to throw his name on the ballot for the primary. He just kind of gave the middle finger to the state. So
this state particularly, or
yeah, because it's the first in the nation primary. He's like, man, I don't even care.
Huh.
I don't know why, but there's some loyal people here still saying to write him in, and he didn't bother to put his name on the ballot.
But he's on other ballots in other states?
I think so. I'm not sure which one, if he's dipped out of other ones or not, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm sorry for asking. I really don't even know.
I don't know all the details, but I know a lot of people are upset about it. But apparently not everybody, because they were holding signs to write him in.
Oh, so it was both parties prelims today? Is that correct?
Primaries. Yeah, you go and if you're party affiliated, you get your ballot, and then if you're independent, which actually, fun fact is, there's more independents in New Hampshire than there are Republicans or Democrats.
Really?
Basically, people.
Hard number. More independents.
Hard number. There's more independents. So it's registered voters or undeclared. Registered voters that are undeclared. So when you register, you can declare your party.
Okay.
Or you could not declare your party, and you're essentially an independent.
Do you see a lot of people going that way nowadays? In your personal life?
Especially around here, yeah. I mean, New Hampshire's a very independent-minded state, I think, politically. So it reflects in the registrations. But you can, in the primary, you can go and vote in either primary if you're not declared. So you can
okay.
Hey, I want to vote Democrat this one, or I want to go vote Republican this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think it's
a little bit of a controversy, but it's the way it is right now.
Could they be scamming the system? Is it possible?
Well, that's where they say cross over and vote. They're the guy that had the sign for that.
Oh,
so if you're an independent, but you typically vote Democrat in this case, you could technically vote Republican in this primary and try to screw up the Republican primary.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah, that's what the sign was all about.
Yeah.
All
right.
It's just it's interesting how it's laid out and how it works here.
You I mean, I've voted a few times, but there's a couple unwritten rules. You're not supposed to go in line and talk about who you're voting, right? It's they can actually throw you out for that. Is that correct? Or?
Not that I know of.
Oh.
I mean, if you're causing like a ruckus, maybe, but and there's usually like a cop posted there or something. But
Yeah.
it's probably more just politeness.
That's fair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll move on from Ben's voting day, but that is why he's late. So sorry to the late start to the show.
We've got Kevin McDonald. Ben told me wrote in QB Kev. That is very true, Kevin.
Yeah.
Wrote you in.
So 2 weeks off, huh? How does that go about? Because you guys weren't really talkative in the chat. So you guys had to hit each other up privately, no?
He hit me. He hit me up privately.
Okay.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to make it tonight. So I'm like,
I mean, we can kind of agree he's kind of a dweeb, right? Like for the past, I'll give him 4 months. He's been promising he's going to have the highest rated show. He's going to do this whole, whatever you want to call it, fakakta, fucking put together thing, and kick my ass in the ratings.
he had his chance and he got sick.
He had 2
And
chances.
then decided to work.
Yeah, he had 2 chances. How sick was he?
I don't know.
Huh.
I don't know. I think that was that the week. I can't remember if that was the week we didn't play in Bedford. Or either it was, maybe we did, and I thought I remember looking for him. Like, yeah, trying to see how sick he was.
Okay. And so he messaged you privately? Who decides to put on the Facebook page?
I think I did that one.
Yeah.
I volunteered.
So neither one of you
Trust
decide to like call me, like, hey, let's message Steve. Maybe he can put something together
Hey,
real quick.
like Pike's co-host. He's the closer to making the decisions than I am.
Is the vice president allowed to make presidential decisions?
Only if the president
Is dead.
is incapacitated.
Well,
or,
was I incapacitated?
you were out of band, so that actually would be a
No chance.
that would be a case where
I'm actually sitting there waiting for the show to come on, and then I get a message on the Facebook page.
That's a pretty weak president to not actually step in there and let us
Step in there.
let his will be known.
You already let everybody down. I had no equipment. What'd you want me to do? Facebook Live myself, which I actually did joke about doing.
Pick up the red phone and hit the red button.
Yeah,
Yeah, there you go.
maybe.
gotta-
Well, I mean,
you
it
gotta-
seemed
you
like
gotta recourse.
you guys had it all under control.
That's a Pike question. I just show up and produce.
Ben, you
the
could have
show.
done it yourself.
I just show. Oh yeah, that'd be a well-rated show.
You could have phoned me in, right?
I mean,
Yeah, you could have.
You didn't let
didn't
your
really-
will be known on that. I've thrown that option out there multiple times, and you've yet to take me up on it.
I mean, if we're in a pinch, I would say we do it. But Mastermind, Cowboys fan, Tyler Pike,
Yeah.
had a huge show planned.
Speaking of which, I'm really regretting I was this close to getting on the Tambo Time page and posting somebody check on Tyler Pike after that. After
Cowboys
that
game?
Cowboys loss.
That's probably why he's sick, huh?
That's probably why he's probably grieving.
Yeah.
He had a bereavement leave.
Yeah, he seems like one to get real depressed about Cowboy games.
I mean, well, that's a pretty miserable life.
Maybe. Either way, so I apologize for not having a show, even though I was promised we were going to have the greatest show of all time. And, then sick and work related, and then gave him another week, and he didn't do it that week either. So I don't know where Tyler Pike has a place on the show currently. He is working overtime. I was going to kick him off the show today while he was on, kind of.
Allegedly.
Yeah, no, I wasn't going to. I couldn't do that. He's like a little kid to me. But we'll see. We'll see what I have in store for him. All right, we'll move on from that. Anything new before I get into the show with you, Ben? I mean, it's gonna be kind of give and take with you. Obviously, I don't have anybody to talk to, so
Yeah, I'll do my best.
this is the chance for the world to get to know who Ben is a little bit.
I'll do my best.
So, anything new with you or no?
Oh, not really. New job. That's about it. Started a new role last week, so I've been pretty inundated with that.
How you liking it?
It's good. It's good. It's just drinking from the fire hose. When you start a new place, it's trying to figure out where everything is, where everybody is, and how everything works. So, but yeah, it's been keeping me busy.
You want to clear the air as far as your posts? Like, you have to let everybody know that.
Yeah, I'm not moving to California.
Okay.
So, despite the company being based in California, I'm not moving there.
I mean, the C division was wondering what was going on with
Yeah, I know.
one of the
It's,
top rushers around.
Yeah, exactly. I know. It's gonna be hard shoes to fill.
All right. Before we bore everybody and keep talking about Ben, we're gonna move on. All right, let's. You want to talk about my Florida trip first before we kind of get?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got my my nifty lightsaber here. This is a lightsaber that cost me way too much money that I'd like to admit. Almost $300.
Liar!
I'm not lying. I had to buy.
That's the only Star Wars bite I think I have in here, so I had to use it.
Is it from Star Wars? That bite?
That's Anakin.
Oh, okay.
When he turns to
I never.
Padme, and he's like, liar.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah.
I always thought it was who's the dude? One of the dude that played Batman, the one that freaked out on camera or off camera. I forget his name. It'll come
Was
to
it
me.
one of the older ones or was it one of the recent ones?
No, one of the recent ones.
Oh, that was Patterson?
No, the dude that always posts with no shirt. Like he's always memes with no shirt on and.
Affleck?
No, maybe
Christian
he did.
Bale?
Maybe he did.
Bale?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, was
I
it Christian
think.
Bale?
I think.
Oh, okay.
Dark hair guy.
They're all dark hair guys.
Oh, whatever.
They all look this. They all.
Either way, I thought it was him.
Things in common.
All right, back. So Adam had the bright idea. He's been talking about going down and making a lightsaber for so long, and I didn't know the details to it and the intricacies and actually how much money it would cost. I didn't know that either. But that was one thing he always did. He's a big Star Wars fan. I'll give Disney credit. It was actually kind of cool. I went in, to watch and record him doing it, and I ended up going in again with other people and doing it. You actually kind of piece it together, and it's based on certain things,
cool.
Power, defenders, this stuff, crap. Yeah. And you literally from A, B, C, D, and the button, you pick everything, Now, some of them are grouped together, and there's different options, but they actually made the presentation pretty cool. And I'm not a big Star Wars fan. I knock it a lot, but I actually enjoyed it, which means, they're obviously doing a good job if you can get somebody who doesn't like Star Wars to partake and spend a ton of money on something with Star Wars. So you actually, I guess, so there's a whole thing about picking your crystal. So yeah. I think there was 4 options. I think you could pick blue, green, purple, and red.
Yeah, those are 4 main colors.
No, because Adam. No, no. Adam didn't get. He wanted yellow. They didn't get yellow, but those were 4. Now, evidently, the red one. I guess you had a 1 in 100 chance it could be black, and that's like really rare, like a collector's.
That's cool.
A collector's thing.
That's cool.
In the gift shop, you can buy a yellow one and a white one. So I don't know why they didn't have the yellow one and white one available when you were building them, which I thought was a little weird.
Because they want to get more money from you.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, regardless, if I like 2 colors, I still got to go buy one of them. You know what I mean? But yeah, if you go in there, you want white, they don't have white, you're forced to buy one.
Yeah, and you're already spending the money for the lightsaber.
Yeah. So you have to do the whole thing with whatever color, and then you get to go buy the white one, which is $15 for one little crystal thing. And you put the crystal thing in there. I actually picked blue. So it does light up. It is pretty, it's heavy. You know what I mean? It
feels like good quality.
Yeah.
It feels like you would imagine holding an actual lightsaber from movies.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
Like metal and everything.
It makes the noise, which is kind of cool. And they come with a case. So if you're going down to Disney and you like Star Wars at all, I would suggest, if you got the money to do it. It's kind of fun. I did buy these, whatever these fucking things are, stands, whatever, put it on display. And probably go build a shelf downstairs, hang it up, and kind of geek out a little bit with that, even though I'm not a big Star Wars fan. So, but thanks to Adam for making me a little more poor because of that. But he had a good day, and I don't see him geek out much about things. Like, he was kind of a geek. He like really enjoyed it. He had fun.
Yeah, I totally get that. Like, if it did end up being just me running a show one day, we'd probably just talk about Star Wars. I could talk for an hour on that.
Oh, and so you were telling me you went down there. You just decided not to do it because of the money, no?
Yeah, basically, I was down there like a couple weeks after the Star Wars, the Galaxy Edge part of the Hollywood Studios opened in 2019. Like, literally, like a couple weeks after I was down there for work, and I was this close, and I'm like, yeah, my cheap eighth of a Jew heritage that I have in me kicked in, and I'm like, no, not too much. I do regret it now, though.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you'll be back, and then you could do it, and then you'll probably enjoy doing it more now than in the past, I guess.
I'm sure at some point I'll be back.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. I think.
I looked into the area where they did it, and it looked like a cool experience. It's like a workshop type of thing.
Yeah.
They have like a droid factory too. It's kind of a similar type thing where you can like build your own.
Yeah, we built the droid down there.
You did?
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Very cool.
That was pretty cool as well. I mean, maybe it wasn't more as in depth, but it was kind of like you pieced it together, and
It feels like it feels like you're walking into like a droid shop from
Yeah.
one of the movies, like the episode 1 when Anakin's this little boy and he's working for the flying guy. Like it feels like that type of a setup.
Yeah, they did cool. They did a cool job. So we hit a couple parks, and I get to the point where like I kind of get bummed out because Adam's 20 now, and I didn't do this stuff when he was younger. I just when I grew up, it wasn't a big thing to really go on vacation. I mean, my mom every now and then, I think maybe once a year would drive 45 minutes to Laconia, and we'd stay somewhere over there, and that was our big vacation.
That's what we do. We just camped. We go up north, like to Conway or something.
Yeah. So which I know this is primarily a flag football podcast, but flag football is what's got me to kind of explore other do other things, which traveling it's not a big deal, but kind of is a big deal. Some people don't like to go out of their comfort zone. I've never been like that. To a point, I don't like to travel. It bothers me, but I've never been. Oh, I'm afraid to travel. No, I actually really enjoy it. It was never part of my yearly life, let's say. And I kind of get bummed out sometimes because I never did take him when he was a kid, but I think I enjoy it more now with him, just because obviously he's an adult and he does still kind of get excited, and for as much as Adam gets excited for, because he didn't really get excited about anything ever. So it is kind of cool, and I feel like I'm not completely missing out on what not taking him when he was younger.
Yeah, there's pros and cons of both. You can relate more on certain things as when you're both adults going to it together, but you still get that father-son dynamic where you can enjoy all those other aspects.
Yeah, I agree, and I never wanted to take him when he was real young, because what am I really doing at that point? I'm going there because of me. It's to me, in my mind, and it's fine for other people. Like, I'm not trying to knock people that take their kids who are 1 or 2 down to Disney. I'm really not.
To the point, but yeah.
For me, it's just right.
Yeah.
I'm only going, doing it for selfish reasons. He's never going to remember.
You want him to be able to remember the experience,
right?
Like if especially gonna spend all that money.
Yeah,
it's freaking pricey.
Yeah, it was not cheap, but definitely worth it and definitely fun.
That's awesome.
So hit Disney a couple of days. Now, getting to the tournament side of it, we had a smaller Airbnb at first with the people that came down early, and then we migrated to a bigger Airbnb for everybody because we had, I want to say 26 people in our Airbnb off the top of my head. It was upwards to close to 30, but I want to say 26 was the final number.
Wow. Good size.
What?
Good size.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's a lot of people. Yeah.
And they got Airbnbs everywhere over there for that stuff. But migrate over there. Everybody's coming in. So we play Wednesday. It's Tuesday. So no podcast. Okay. All of a sudden, some people are going in the pool. Some people are there. Not everybody's in because not everybody played Wednesday and Thursday. Some people play Friday and whatever. So I go get my shorts on to go swimming. I got my shoes on. I take my shirt off. So I got no shirt off. Going down the stairs, I get to the last stair and I slip and fall. My legs up in the air. My legs land on the ground. My upper body lands on the stairs, and my lower back hit the bottom stair. The edge of the stair. I can't get up. I'm getting excruciating pain, sharp pains. I crawl to the living room to try to get up on the couch. Couldn't do it. Too much pain. I had my phone in my pocket, so I had my phone with me. For some reason, so Joy's sleeping. For some reason, I text Joy instead of just call her. So I texted her and said, what I meant to say was, I fell down and hurt my back. Well, I spelled feel. So it says, I feel down and hurt my back or whatever. So she's trying to sleep and thinks I said I feel like I hurt my back. So she probably tried to go back to sleep. Like, I don't know what he's saying.
Yeah.
And then I called her, and it was one of those I've fallen and can't get up moments.
This literally, that thought came to my mind. We got Quinn in the chat. Life alert.
The big joke was, my watch didn't go off. We got to get you a life alert. This bullshit. So, at this point in time, I can't get up, and I'm sweating profusely. And inside the Airbnb was really cool.
Yeah.
AC was on. So we think something's wrong. We try to get Kevin McDonald finally comes in, and I don't really want anybody to know at this point in time what I did. One, it was embarrassing, and two, I'm not trying to worry anybody. Kevin McDonald,
freaking idiot.
Yeah, no shit. Kevin McDonald comes in, and he knows right away something's wrong.
Yeah.
He can see it. You know what I mean? For some reason, I'm sitting down there with no shirt. I'm sweating like crazy.
Yeah.
Joy's trying to see if I'm okay, and Kevin's just kind of like looking. Kevin's like, "You okay?" Yeah. Meanwhile, there's this big mark on my back. You know what I mean? So it's just from the stare.
Oh, like the rug burn?
Yeah. So I try to get in the hot tub to see if, because everything's so tight,
Yeah.
to see if it would just loosen up. And I can't move, getting shooting pains, this and that. And I just recently slipped a disc, and I was worried I did that again. So I end up going to I went to urgent care. They don't take my insurance, so then I had to go to ER. I go to the emergency room, and it's just, I'm there for 4 hours waiting. And I can't, I can barely walk. And they end up getting me in, take a bunch of x-rays, and they look at everything's negative. So they presume my back was in spasm. And so they gave me some muscle relaxers, because usually that gets it out of spasm, and then you stretch it and you do whatever. But I was really worried I heard it. But this is the day before we're supposed to go out there and play. Fortunately for me, I'm not supposed to throw for 7-man. It's supposed to be red. And I've been just so down in the dumps that everything we worked for all year, and now I might not even be able to play. Eventually, I was able to get out there and play, but it took a toll. The stamina of my body was not as much.
Yeah. Those muscle relaxers, those get to you, for a good day, anyways. When I've taken them before, I just feel off the whole next day.
Oh, for sure, for sure. They were a little weaker, which she told me, and I did. I tell them there what this is what I'm doing in Florida. I don't want to take anything that's going to make it hard for me to play.
Yeah.
So they gave me muscle relaxer that was not very potent, but got the job done, and thankfully it did. I didn't take a ton, I didn't, you know what I mean. I just took it before and in the morning to kind of loosen everything up and really be able to stretch it out. But it was tough. I was in pain all weekend, and that was not fun. But that was the start of my Worlds this year, which kind of blew. But we ended up figuring it out. And
Quinn says, all jokes aside, I hope and glad you're okay, Father Time.
That's Father Time's Vance's name, not mine, but I appreciate it. Thanks. But yeah, no, I was worried I fucking slipped the disc again. That's what I was really worried about, because that was not fun. That took a couple months of physical therapy to get back into place. And
That's not fun.
yeah, so all right, we'll move on from my falling story. I thought some of you guys might enjoy that. Think it was kind of funny, but at the time it was not. We laugh about it now. And it was getting to the point where I was going up and down the stairs, and people were coming in front of me, "Whoa, you need some help?" So everybody made a joke out of it, even though it wasn't. But it is funny to talk about now. So, all right. As we get into the Florida talk, I sent you a screenshot of a Facebook post, right?
Yeah, let's see where that is here.
See, I can't. I hate how I can't.
It was the USA flag schedule?
No.
Or
No, it's a Facebook post by a gentleman named Arthur.
Don't think you sure you sent me that?
I definitely did. There's no chance I didn't.
I didn't see it in the pictures. I'll double check. No.
Well, that sucks. Text or email? or text or Facebook? Quickly.
Facebook. It has to be Facebook. Can you send it to the? Yeah, just send it to me. I'll figure it out.
All right. It's sent. If I didn't send it, I apologize. So well, I'll try to talk as much as I can to get it up there. So it was a post that my boy Artie the Wizard posted, and you'll be able to read it, but I'll read it right now. It says pro level in Tampa is a different animal. I see why teams from back home play in comp and amateur. LOL. Just know we never duck smoke. Only way to get better is play against the best IMO, in my opinion. Now, without and I already went in the chat and just said what's the Facebook term when you're on there just making jokes? What's the fucking term? Trolling. Yes. Trolling, yeah. Sorry, I'm a little old. That's tired.
That's an internet term, Steve.
Yeah, whatever. Internet term. So he goes. Basically, I'm just trolling, and yeah, fair enough. I'll give a little history on why we play where we play, and I'll say the same thing to certain guys that other people I've had to say it to before. When we started traveling, there was only a few divisions, and the Nasty Boys team that started traveling is nowhere near as good as the Nasty Boy team now. We picked the rec division. The athletes were traveling at the time, and they were playing in the top division, and nowhere in God's green earth could that Nasty Boys team, and where I was as a quarterback, could compete with athletes. There's a lot of teams that I've seen and played and whatever. You give me 10 games and I can beat them a few times or a couple or half the times. I don't even think we come close to beating the athletes once with the team I had and where I was as a quarterback. And I don't think many people would disagree with me. So we decided to play in rec, which again was an unpopular decision on most players. I actually had players not want to play because we were playing in rec, and I'll give, Derek's one of them who would say to me, hey, if we're going down, I want to play against the best, and that's the competitor in Derek, but where Derek and I's relationship, connection, some might say, he trusts me when I say, listen, I have a feeling, let's start in rec, we'll see what it is. I really thought, at the time, that the pro division was really those top tier teams, the pro players that would play flag, and it typically is. I thought comp was kind of that next level style of teams, and rec was kind of your local good teams, and that's what I thought we'd be playing. I thought we'd be playing a lot of local good teams, and we'll see where we stack. After the first couple tournaments went by, everybody on the team agreed, this is where we should be, and our plan and our goals are never to go down there and blow teams out or get blown out. So it's a tough situation on where we want to go. Back to more this year, and I've always respected COM, and I've said it before, so don't take it disrespectfully. When I say certain things, I'm really not. I respect the hell out of you guys for going down there and playing in pro division and really competing. Whether you come home with no wins in a certain format is irrelevant. They're close games and you're competing, and that's very impressive. But this particular, Worlds, when they were talking about the new divisions and how many separations and how many levels to the difficulty of each division, their main goal at the time was to only do 16 teams per division. Okay, now we're gonna go over some photos of some teams that went down. Let's say in theory all the teams from up here signed up for pro. Now you're talking 6 men's teams down there in a 16-team division. Why the hell are we going down there to play each other? And with everything, even how it laid out, we'll get into who ended up playing who and who, what local teams had to play other local teams, and it's not very fun, and it kind of sucks. We get one, why are we traveling to go play each other, and two, it's I don't want to be the reason people lose, and I don't want people up here to be the reason I lose either. So it's kind of a shitty situation. So it's not like I foreseen this happening either. It happened to us. We had to go down to Jersey, which isn't a huge travel tournament, but we treated it like it was. We went down there for a little while, big Airbnb, and we ended up having to play the athletes 2 out of 3 of our 5-man games, and that was not fun at all. If we and athletes ended up going to the finals and they beat the brakes off of us like they did, okay, great, that's a win for up north. But the fact that we had to play them in the round robin and then we draw them in the first round really just kind of ruined our trip or at least for that format, because why the hell are we doing that when we could literally do it in the backyard for free? So we do try to avoid that pretty much at all costs. Unfortunately, it doesn't always pan out. And I will say to Com or Artie, guys like that, what I said to ST, ST would always rip on us for sandbagging, they would say, or playing down. Not one ST member would ever say that Nasty Boys is better than them. So why should we be playing in the same division? And I feel Com would say the same thing. Not one Com member would say that Nasty Boys is better. So why is Nasty Boys going to play in your division? What's the point? So it's not duck and smoke. There's a lot of stuff that goes into this. But unfortunately, with this year, they did up the 16 teams because that was the kind of goal. I mean, Travis said it on that video that he put out a long time ago, was that they're trying to cap them out at 16 teams a division. So it's not too crazy because, a couple of years ago, that rec division that we played in had 76 teams in it, which is insane. So that's kind of where I stand at it. I kind of get sick of repeating myself to a point. I think my plan would work out better as far as win and move up type deal if there wasn't a lot of teams around the tournament circuit that do kind of sandbag. I mean, we've all seen it. We all know, there's teams that play in certain divisions that really shouldn't. And that's on USA Flag to figure that out. That's not, it's not our fault. It's not Com's fault. It's not anybody else's fault. But either way, I'll move on from that. But no, I mean, utmost respect to Com and athletes and Cash Out. And I'll shout out to Cash Out. They have never a team that rips on me for any type of decision I make where I put my teams. So I do, joking or not, they've never even said a word about it. So I do appreciate them, but I do respect all those teams that do go out and play at that top level because it is insanely talented. It's tough. I mean, we at times we play in the rec division, and I don't think we I think every member on the other team is faster than every guy I have at times. So talent level. Athleticism is absolutely next level. And a lot of teams that went travel saw that firsthand. So, all right, enough about Artie's post, the Wizard. We're going to move on. I'll give some shout-outs to some teams here that did show up. I did grab as many photos. We did. The North was pretty well represented. I think this is the biggest year with the number of teams that have gone down. Ben, you got those photos?
Yep.
Now,
which ones do you want first?
I don't know. I have to go on here and see what you post. Just start with. Let's leave the championship photo for last. Just start wherever you can. Unfortunately, I did not get photos for the bullies. I know they were taking some. I couldn't find any. I couldn't find any from UGQ. And Com did not take any team photos as far as Nuge told me. So those are 3 teams. Unfortunately, if they took photos, I didn't see them. The first photo up here is a bunch of faces only a mother could love. We got shotgunners, and I had what I almost wanted to do was I really wanted to go in and kind of give everybody's like, I want to say, all right, Shotgunners did this in 5-man amateur, wherever they played. I'm just giving an example, and I wanted to give a record, but I didn't want anybody to feel like I was putting them on blast. I did want to give people some credit where it was due. So I mean, I decided not to, because I didn't want anybody to think I was ripping on them. But I did watch some of the Shotgunners games, and they did seem close, whether they were winning or not. They were playing well, which we all know they can play well. They didn't have the fastest team, they didn't have the most athletic team, but they went out, and I think they gained some respect from people. But it was definitely fun watching them. I was rooting them on. Hamilton's he's such a great player, and watching Scarelli back there with his mask on, just getting cooked left and right was pretty amusing too. So. All right, you got the next photo. But hey, honestly, hats off to Shotgunners coming down their first Worlds, I believe, and kicking ass. All right, you got the next one?
Yep, should be loading to you.
I told you not the championship one, you fucking jabroni.
All right,
That's how you get one instruction.
That's just what came up next.
What one instruction?
All right, here's the girls.
All right, that's Artie's post. All right, are you just flying through things?
I just clicked through a couple.
What are we doing? All right, there's a few of the nasty girls, missing a couple. They balled out, got some wins. Unfortunately, I think they had to play bullies, which you had bullies, UGQ, and nasty girls all in the same division. I believe there was a decent amount of teams there, but they drew each other in the play-ins. And Nasty Girls lost that game. Bullies won, but Nasty Girls doing well with a couple missing pieces, in my opinion. A lot better turnout than what I've seen them, and unfortunately their quarterbacks fighting through a little pain here, so it made it a little difficult. But I couldn't be any more proud of those ladies. All right, next one.
Yep, next one. Yep, it's up, but it should be loading to you in a second.
All right, we got SPD, which we almost had a repeat of last season, which I don't understand. We win amateur last season in 4-man. We move up. We'll never be playing 4-man amateur again. And we sign up, and then all of a sudden I see SPD and novice 4-man. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, I was assuming they were going to play an amateur, but they moved up this year for I don't know the actual reason. Maybe they wanted their revenge on us. I have no clue. But scheduling might have had, whatever. A couple different faces from last year's team. And we ended up getting a bye, I think, in the 4-man playoffs. And they ended up playing a team prior to us. If they would have beat that team, we would have had a rematch from last season. Unfortunately, SPD lost it in overtime. They had a good lead, ended up kind of unfortunately blowing it to a good team. Not to take anything away from SPD, the other team was very good. They get into overtime, and I honestly forget who it was. Even if I remembered, I wouldn't put him on blast. But one of the SPD guys dropped an extra point to win the game, because they do the college, the back and forth. You could pick one or two. So, unfortunately, as much as I wanted them to win, I didn't want to have to play them. So I kind of liked the way it turned out. I think they would have gave us a better game. I think the team we played might have been a better team, physically. But SPD probably would have given us a better game, because we ended up beating the other team. I think we ended up beating them 20-0. It was I don't think they scored once in 4-man, which is impressive. Shout out to my defense. So I know SPD played some contact, and those fucking guys, they got a reputation of partying, and they do. They're supposed to come play in a format with us the following day, and I get a message at like 3 a.m. Hey Tambo, sorry, we decided to go out and party. Unfortunately, we won't be there in the morning. I'm like, hey, at least you messaged me.
The mark of good partiers is you can do that and still go play.
I mean, they probably could if they pushed it, but no, I appreciate the honesty. I wouldn't want any half drunk or hungover guys playing with us. So
Puking on the sidelines.
yeah. All right, next photo.
All right, give it a second.
Give it a second.
That's pink.
Pink? Oh, so it's Goya. Hats off to Goya playing a lot of tough football that weekend. Unfortunately for them, fortunately for us, it aggravates me more. I mean, we play with each other in the gauntlet, and they would have ended up beating us. Unfortunately, they double booked their fucking scheduling. I don't know how. They had an explanation for it. I forget what it was. And they had us on the brink of losing, and they had to forfeit the game because they had to go to another format. So we kind of got. Oh no!
No, right for them, not you.
Yeah, no, I think they were about to score and go up 2 scores, I think, and we wouldn't have had enough time, I don't believe, and unfortunately they had to go, so they forfeited. The next team tried to protest the forfeit, but fuck them. They didn't. They got the work after that. But shout out to Goya. I mean, they really did play well. A couple of those guys, really stepped up to the next level of competition. All right, next one.
Wait.
What the hell am I waiting for?
There's a slight delay between
You can't.
me and when you're actually getting it on your phone. That's why it's just a couple seconds.
All right, that's fair. All right, Mass Devils. Unfortunately, I was not able to watch any of their games. I wanted to give them a little due. They did really well in their round robin, and I think they got to the finals in one of their formats and lost. I want to say it was 5-man novice. That's what I want to say. I could be wrong. If anybody from Mass Devils is here and can correct me, like I said, I was gonna map it out, but I didn't want to put anybody on blast. I didn't want to embarrass anybody if it was either way. But have some faces on that team I've never honestly seen play before. They look like they put together themselves a decent squad. Some new jerseys, which look nice, but they went to the finals, and in my opinion, I from what I remember, I think the team they lost to is not a team that really should have been in that division. I think the team should have been a little higher. But that's my opinion. But no, congrats to those guys. I think they played in 2 different formats. I think the 4-man one they didn't do that well in. I think because I was worried we were going to run into them because again, I really don't like to go to these things to play local teams. But I don't even think it came close to us playing them. They might have been on the other bracket in the playoffs. So next one.
It's the light blue. With you.
With my team? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so all right, this is the Nasty Boy photo. We took it after 7-man. I think it's the entitle this one the We're Never Doing 7-man Again. It's just not our format. It's just really, yeah. It can't go down and play at this level against teams and play the format once a year. Like you really can't. We would need to practice it, at least monthly. Some guys want to do it. Some guys want to just can it. I got to be the one to make the final decision here.
You say there's a bigger adjustment going from like 5-man to 7 than there is like 5 to 4.
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially for me, 4-man. I grew up playing 4-man. That was
okay.
4-man is what 5-man is today. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah,
so it's just a lot easier. It's a simpler game, and yeah, speed really helps for sure. But you can win if you don't have the fastest team. But 7-man, it's very tough. And it's not so much the defenses. The defenses are easy to beat because it's a full field. It's just they rush right off the line at you. And I had, Red out there. Red had a hard time. I ended up going in the playoffs, had even a harder time. And Bud was snapping it 10, 12 yards back, and these guys just fly in. Some of the fastest, best rushers I've ever seen, and playing in a rec division, which makes it even more insane because you do know I do know the pro teams are a lot better, and it's just one of those things like we're just filling it with a format to play, and some of us decided like, you know what, It'd be nice to just hang out for 2 days instead of just go get our ass kicked. And we didn't even get that playoff game we lost. We kind of got our ass kicked, but I don't think we've ever really gotten our ass kicked in 7-man. We always lose by like a score, or win or whatever. We've been there, but it's just the way they had it set up. All the best 7-man teams were able to play, so we got a lot of the best teams. We got a lot of the best rec teams available. We might be done. We'll see. I'll have to either come up with a real good practice plan, or we're moving on from 7-man. All right, next photo. It's still us.
Yep, should be there in a second.
Oh, and it's everybody's favorite team, Solo Touch. Coming out. A lot of highs and lows this tournament for them. Unfortunately, the way the scheduling went, I think I watched one 4-man game towards the end, and that was like it. I was not able to catch them anywhere. And vice versa. I didn't really see many of their guys around our games either. But shout out to SD. They do come in full force. They do work real hard at these. Very interesting where their team's going to go right now. Maybe a few players not available because of the pro leagues coming up and what's going on. But hopefully it's not the last Solo Touch team photo we see ever. I'd be heartbroken. All right. Next one.
That is, I'm going to skip through a couple here. So I think we talked about that. I think the last one's the championship one.
All right. Let's, last but definitely not least.
Sure, let me make sure that we get that is.
I mean, all my children up there. Are you cycling through all of them again?
Yeah. I have. Like,
you missed it. You can't go back.
Well, I can, but I was just making sure there wasn't another one we missed.
Oh. You can cycle through privately without people seeing it, right?
Once it's up, it's up. I mean, I could switch it real quick, but then you wouldn't be able to see it.
Oh. Yeah. So you're just being lazy, all right?
Yeah, kind of. I was trying to make it as quick as possible.
Oh, shit. All right. Shout out to Too Nasty and Nasty Nation kind of still keeping on to that 4-man amateur title. A couple guys here balled out. I mean, the biggest standout to me, obviously, is picking up Nuge at that quarterback position. That puts Too Nasty as one of the favorites in that division. They came out winning. There was some good teams in there. Not gonna lie, what we did was, or what you do when you win, you go up. They ask the captains to pick an offensive MVP, defensive MVP, and an MVP. I made the choices myself. I didn't want anybody to get any slack if anybody feels some type of way about it. I watched a lot of the games, and I feel I got a good grasp about it. Nobody really argued. So for offensive MVP, I picked Jeff, and I think that was almost a landslide. That guy was in a 4-man open outdoor field. It's just so tough to cover that dude. And I've seen some of the fastest dudes just get cooked. Defensive MVP, I put Gavin. Gavin didn't play too much defense throughout the 4-man. They had guys, but they had guys go down. And we get a lot of slack sometimes for running so deep, and I get a lot of slack from my own teams for running so deep. I believe they had 4 guys hurt who could not play for the championship game.
Wow.
So you run 8. Now you got 4 in 4-man. Yeah. If you run 8 in 5-man, now you have to forfeit, or you're playing 4 and 5.
Wow.
So we run deep for a reason. And I gave Gavin defensive MVP because he stepped in. One, he played great defense the whole week, which factors in a little bit, but he played in other formats, played in 7-man. Great job out of him this week. He really, really stepped up. But in the championship game, he just made some defensive plays, some really good flag pulls that it just put them in the spot to have ball in hand to win the game. They weren't coming back, and Gavin really stepped up to make that happen. And I gave the MVP to Nuge. I didn't think even that was questionable. He filled in on the defensive side to help out when guys. We made a couple adjustments, and it's not a knock on the guys I had to take out, or I, sometimes you just have to go with the hot hand. And I felt some people were performing, some people weren't, and I made some adjustments. And Nuge played some defense. Obviously, he was playing quarterback, and did fucking really well. That team owes him a big thank you for helping. And everybody, contributed to that. It was the last format of the night, so everybody's really giving it their all. Or the last format of the whole tournament for us. Mason balled out. As much as I goof on that kid, and much as he's a B division player, sometimes at Bedford he really stepped the fuck up. I was very impressed. Wow. Josh Kenny was kicking ass. He was doing really well. AK stepped up, played great. Cam Michelle played amazing. I mean, I've seen a different side of Cam than I've ever seen down at these tournaments. So he played good. So at least Nasty Nation bringing one home. I didn't. Oh, shit. I know I didn't send you this. If I didn't send you that other photo, I didn't send you this one. I was gonna give a shout out to. I don't even know. Hold on, I gotta. Sorry.
Is it posted in one of the forums or?
No, I'm just sending it to you now.
All right, let's see if I can pull it.
There's a shout out to Nuge and Kevin and Alicia and fuck, what's her name? Yo, I really can't multitask. I'm like the worst at. This is why I don't do this stuff while I'm. I thought because I wanted to send them all in orders to you.
Yeah.
Based on segments or how I wanted to do it.
Welcome to my world.
Whatever, Ben. You don't have to. You don't have to try to worry about entertaining people.
You can't talk on a phone or talk and do something on your phone at the same time. I literally have a soundboard, a computer, and a microphone. I'm managing all at once.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
No, Julie Yim. And shout out to her heavy hitters team for winning the first 9-man women's. Which wow. I saw a lot of local players from there. I'd almost say that's a hometown ship, maybe. I'm not sure. They would have to label it. Now, 9-man's, from my understanding, has been predominantly a male sport, a male flag football sport, and they're trying to expand it to women. So I don't know if it was the inaugural 9-man women's world championship. I don't know if it was an open invite. I don't know if they decided just to do the 2 teams. I'm not really sure the details of it. If anybody's there and can explain it to me, I'm not. Just educate me. But they did do 2 teams, and I heard some controversy, which they didn't get rings. It's not a real world championship. I mean, mind you, they've run other formats with just 2 teams. I believe that when they did 7-man AFFL for the women's, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they only had 2 teams, and they gave rings to the winners. They crowned a championship. When 2 years back, when they were going to do the U23 men's, and Nasty Boys were the only team that signed up, we had a killer U23 team. Wow. I don't care who they were putting in. I know we were winning that one. And no one else signed up. Nasty Boys were the only team. If they had gotten another team to sign up, they would have ran that division with 2 teams. Wow. Which, if I knew prior to, I would have put 2 Nasty Boy teams in, because we literally had enough for. I mean, the roster limit was 15. We had 15 and more people if we wanted. Wow. So we could have actually done 2 legit teams, but we with so many formats, we didn't want to. You know what I mean? We didn't want to overdo it. Yeah. And we really, we didn't want to do an A and B type team. We really just wanted to put all our eggs in one basket. And then they canceled the format. But they would have ran it with 2. So heavy hitters, I mean, as far as my opinion goes, and it's not far, but you guys are world champs to me. And, they've run it that way before. So, and they've considered other world championships before. I don't see why this one would be any different, But I don't know if they left it to 2 teams on purpose, or if those were only 2 teams that signed up. I would have assumed they would have been able to get a couple more, but I think 8 women's was going on at the same time, maybe. So it might have been tough because eight women's has had a good amount of teams at times. So I'm not really sure. You know, I've been in the traveling circle for a little while, but not following. Haven't been able to follow everything so close. So
We got a comment here. Tyler Townsend says Jay deserves honorable mention, bringing the team to the championship and going out with a bang.
yeah, no bullshit. When Jay went in, when Nuge couldn't play, Jay played lights out. Jay played fucking probably the best football I've ever seen him play. I mean, he looked like an athlete out there. He wanted it. He was ready to go. Adam helped out big when he had to throw for them. But yeah, we the whole team really wanted Jay to win one. You know, if he decides to hang it up, you know, we'd always want him to be part of the team and come down with us and be a coach and, you know, maybe be a backup quarterback if he's got gas in the tank. But we really did want to win this one for him. And, you know, shout out to that whole team. You know, that's a family. You know, they came together. That wasn't some guys just put together and some guys who don't care about winning with each other. Those guys wanted to win for themselves and for everybody involved. And you could just tell with the sidelines and then the partying after and it's what it's all about. You know, I was their quote unquote coach, whatever, but I felt like I won with them because it's just how it is. You know, you know. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it was a good time. I was proud of those guys. Any other comments we want before I wrap up the Florida talk?
Nope. Just AK says, "Love my nasty nation."
All right. You ever take an IQ test, Ben?
Not in a while. Why?
So I don't know how this comes up.
Is that an insult or is this a?
No. Well, think about IQ tests. You know, everybody says or thinks they do well at them. You know, not many people would probably be like, "Yeah, I'm an idiot." You know, most people, you know, or when people are trying to argue who's smarter, you know, that's what. Let's take an IQ test. Yeah, I've heard that come out. I've said it even as a joke. Okay. I wonder how many people actually have taken one, but my roommates, who spend way too much time together, okay, somehow got in a debate about who's smarter. So they looked up some IQ test, and we took it as a roommate kind of scenario.
Yeah.
Now, it's a timed IQ test.
Should have done a podcast episode with this. Live.
So they did it when I wasn't here.
Okay.
And it is like a good 10 to 12 minutes of silence because you're doing it on your phone. And it's very tough. Like when they had me take it, they're like, "Oh, do you want us to turn the TV off?" You know, because I'm like, "Nah, it's all right. I'll figure it out." But I'll be the first and foremost to say there's a bunch of fake IQ tests. Without taking the real one, I don't even know if I believe it.
You don't know the quality of it. I mean, there's a lot that goes into it.
Correct.
You know, they have to. It's like scientific methods behind it. You know?
And I genuinely don't think that somebody with a higher IQ is smarter than somebody with a lower IQ. I genuinely don't.
There's bias in everything. Like the people designing it may think a certain way, and create the test to reflect certain cognitive abilities that may not necessarily be
right
valuable over other ones.
Yeah, but you can also. I mean, we've known those quote-unquote smart people who are just fucking morons, and we know it.
There's
you know what I mean?
Book smarts and street smarts.
Well, that was a whole other conversation after. But all right, I'll give you the results to the family one, a roommate one, which conveniently I don't have Adams, but coming in last but not least was Katie Devine, and in her defense, halfway through the test, just guessed because she was bored. Even admitted she got a 105. Then the next was Jake's girlfriend Erica, who, again, probably skimmed through it, didn't really care much because it was really guys arguing with each other.
It wasn't like a reality TV show, so sorry, that's bad.
So she got a 110. Nick Guerin and Connor both tied at 120.
Okay.
And then I think Adam got like 123. I think that's where Adam landed. I could be wrong.
See, Adam said he put it in the roommate chat. He said he put it in the roommate chat.
I don't think he did. Give me 1 second.
Correction. He said, I put it in the roommate chat, dickhead.
All right, maybe he did. So I was wrong. Adam didn't get the 123. So then Jake got 127. So at the time, they all took the test, and Jake got the highest, which nobody would have guessed that. No offense, Jake, but Jake got the highest. Then Adam got 128. Then Big Kenny got 130, and then Lambo Tambo got 134.
Nice.
Can you not? What are you doing?
Fuck, okay? Shut the fuck up! I swear to God!
All right, hey, shut up, moron.
Connor's still.
Ben, I will unplug your fucking computer in a heartbeat. I know where all the power buttons are. Shut
Not
up!
on this one.
I'm leading into
I
something.
will pull this out. I don't care. You're gonna fucking put up the fucking still of Tambo
Connor,
sign from now on.
Connor, Jake's smarter than you.
I'm about to
Jake's
call.
smarter than you too, I bet
Oh,
you.
is he
You
really?
take the fucking test, bucko. I bet you get a 110.
We should make him take it live next week.
I mean,
Yeah, take the fucking test live.
I think that kind of explains why he keeps making the show go on mute for like 5 minutes at a
Well,
time.
I mean, makes sense.
Sorry, you're a 105.
All right, so Connor's a little still heated
89.
about it.
Oh, yeah? I prefer 69.
Yeah, you would, retard.
Oh,
Look,
jeez.
look who's talking. Mr. 130 or 20, whatever you are.
Yeah,
Too bad we can't mute you now.
So, anyways, the reason I bring this up and the reason I give everybody the context behind it, next week we are going to play a Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader game.
Kenny just says dumb Connor. I don't know why it's so funny.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so,
keep going.
no, you're good. So next week we're going to play Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader? Now, whether I'll have a child live, a fifth grade child, is yet to be determined, but they will be fifth grade based questions. So I'll have a couple contestants. I know who I have in place. We'll talk about some sound effects and
Okay.
we'll-
Remember, we can always bring in a fifth grader, over the video.
oh yeah, that's true.
That might be a little easier.
Okay, all right. We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
I don't know if I need a parental consent form or.
Jake says, "Who would have thought the barber was one of the smartest ones?" Well, Jake also is one. I remember Jake saying, I don't know what it was, sometime here. It's like I'd rather just be dumb. The more you know, the more you have to worry about. And I'm like, actually, that's a really smart statement. If that's how you feel about it.
Well, we've always this guy I know, and we've always asked would you rather be the most delusional person in the world or the most understanding person in the world? Your understanding of reality is 100%.
Yeah.
And sometimes we side on the most delusional because they don't know any better.
Jake literally just said again, it's easier to be stupid. That's what he said.
It kind of is.
Yeah. Well, it's like the more you know, the more there is to worry about or whatever. Yeah. It's like you're cursed with knowledge.
Yeah.
To quote Thanos. You're not the only one cursed with knowledge. It's kind of what it's referring to.
That's fair. So next week we will be doing Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader with all the geniuses. Now Connor's so pissed. He's like mad. He actually wants to purchase us all somehow real IQ tests and take them.
Nikki Gates said you should post a link for the test and everybody can take it.
I tried that in one of my chats, okay, and people were photoshopping already. It's like just take it honestly, because this is what happens. People get super mad.
He says it's easier to be smart. Jake's just dumb. Apparently, he's still not as dumb as Connor, though.
What do you want?
I just want to let everybody know Steve cheated. He took it fucking twice.
I'm sorry, Connor. We're muted right now.
Oh, we're muted right now. Yeah, sure we are. I can hear it on the fucking Jake's phone over here. This dumb can't just listen to you guys.
All right, there is an asterisk with my victory. Unfortunately,
You don't even know how to spell Gmail, okay? You spelled Gmail.
All right, let me tell the story.
Go ahead. Tell the story.
If you guys ever thought this kid was red, holy shit, he's fucking fireball right now. So you have to type your name in, right, when you're done, and you put your email, it emails you your results. Well, instead of Gmail, I put Gnail. So I didn't get my results. And then I go into my account, I can't change the email. So I had to take the test again.
That is rather ironic that, like, you can't spell your email address to get your IQ test that you scored the highest on.
Yeah. But what I didn't tell them was I was able to go in there and fix it, and my first score was higher than my second one by 2 points. But you see how mad he is. I don't want to say a word.
You lost some IQ points trying to figure out your Gmail.
Yeah, no kidding. So, all right, let's talk a little Bedford real quick before we wind down the show. We're gonna give a shout out to Natty D's for winning last season. It's got to be. And this is no disrespect to them, it's got to be their first one in almost 2 years when I was trying to map it out. So they did take a few sessions off, and they've had some injuries and whatnot. So it's again, not a knock, but it's a more of glad to see them back on top. And I get real, I get excited. I get an appreciation for competition, and it looks like we have a good 6 solid teams for A division. You could bump in 2 more to make it a real good, probably the best A division team. Bedford's or A division playoffs Bedford's ever seen. So shout out to them. I just you could probably throw up the Wednesday schedule if you want.
Let me see here.
I just at this point in time, like, I could win a case against Bedford, which with circumstantial evidence that they're really trying to fuck over Nasty Boys.
Let me throw it up. So the 24th Wednesday schedule.
So, what I wanted to start doing was taking the most intriguing game of the schedule and going to watch it and maybe try to get some highlights of it and, reward the top competition, and hopefully catch something on film that maybe somebody might forget, while down. So I'm looking at week 1 and I'm going down the line, and no offense, but the only A division game is Nasty Boys and Safety Patrol, which was a little close, no red, but that's getting less and less of an actual. It's still a factor. It's getting less and less of a factor. Now, it was a huge factor. Now it's a factor because that team is really coming in its own. They got some good players, and they're learning to live without them. So, they're playing really good, and then, getting a couple playoff wins without him. So, but he wasn't there. We were missing a few guys, maybe offsets a little bit. We had I think a 3-touchdown lead. They came back, and then we pulled away. So it was an interesting game. But I didn't want to, I had a lot to cover. I didn't want to really recap my game, so I'm looking down week 1 schedule, and that is the only A division game, you can say. Maybe you say Natty D's and Direct TDs, but Direct TDs shouldn't have been an A team last season. But shout out to Direct TDs. They beat an under squatted Natty D's. They're missing Johnny and a couple guys, which is obviously a huge factor, but they still come to play. So then I'm going down week 2, and I'm looking for an A division matchup game. And really only one comes to mind, and it's Nasty Boys in the North. And the North, I'll give credit and I'll rip on them at times. They go through this schedule struggle as much as we do. They just don't have the outlet to say it.
Allegedly.
There's no allegedly anymore. Let's look at the Gumbies schedule. Okay, week 1 they play Dirty Birds. Week 2 the Gumbies play Balls Deep. A 1-0 Gumbies is playing a non-A division team. Real tough to really go 6-0 when you're playing teams like that. And I'm not trying to knock I mean, Balls Deep can't compete with the A's. I'm sorry. That's the truth of it. You know, I think there's potential there. I think they can grow into a team that can compete with the A's. Balls Deep can't. Dirty Birds can, but Gumbies have had their way with Dirty Birds for a while. You know, maybe a couple close games here and there. It's a blue chip bet if you're betting Gumbies to win over Dirty Birds. So once again, you know, if you're telling me that your life is on the line and you get to play Dirty Birds and Balls Deep, or you're playing Safety Patrol in the North, who are you picking? That is correct. Now let's look at the Leapers. Leapers play Pickle Dicks week 1. Pickle Dicks have never been in the A's. No offense, Pickle Dicks. Week 2, Leapers are playing the Alliance, which I did say, and I will shout out Alliance being back after years of not consistently being in the league, and a lot of new faces, a lot of different cast of characters. I've been very vocal about what a good quarterback I think Riley is, and how the flag football world is just better when he's around and competing and into the sport. I respect Junior for, you know, trying to build something together and teaming up with Jimmy Wilson and keeping the Alliance name going. I've never, I mean, before Alliance was, you know, when they were superheroes and stuff like that, you know, I was still around, but that they kind of morphed in the same team. Flag football is not the same to me over 25 years without an Alliance team being around. So shout out to those guys for, you know, coming back and putting together. But they had just lost to Milkmen Black. Why they're still Milkmen Black, I have no idea, but Milkmen. And so Leapers, who week 1 played Pickle Dicks, I'm sure won. And they're off to week 2 playing an 0-1 Alliance.
Adam says I heard Leapers lost week 1.
Leapers lost to Pickle Dicks?
So Adam said he heard.
Interesting. Well, either way, so right now, the only teams to really play other A teams is the North, Nasty Boys, and Safety Patrol. Interesting.
CJ says there's a chance that actually, no, I was thinking of a different team, but he says there's a big championship rematch this week: Spartans versus Slipstream.
Who won that B championship?
I do not know. See if there
Was this last year? Sorry, was this last season?
I would imagine. Let's see if there was a comment in there. But Slipstream. Slipstream won.
Slipstream did beat Spartans. Okay, so after Spartans winning 3 in a row in the B division, they finally dropped one. Where's the? I'm trying to find the playoff schedule for. You had B1 semis, so Pickle Dicks and Slipstream. Slipstream moved on. You had North and Safety Patrol. Safety Patrol moved on. Get Pluck and Milkmen Black in the B2s. Who won that game? I don't know. B2 semis, Get Pluck, Milkmen Black. Who won that game? So Spartans lose to Slipstream in the finals. Natty D's ends up beating Safety Patrol in the finals. Zoom was supposed to play winner of Milkmen Black and Get Plucked. Scrambled Eggs and Bad News. So I don't know who won between Zoom and I'm assuming it was Milkmen Black who moved on. And then Scrambled Eggs and Bad News. So Milkmen Black, again, snaking the league, being in the B2s. Oh, and the power. Oh, no. Scrambled Eggs and Bad News was C final semis. They were supposed to play the power.
Yeah, still no comments.
No. All right.
There. Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'll probably wind down the show. Yeah, I'm sorry I missed the playoffs. Unfortunately, I thought the playoffs would have been covered. I thought Tyler Pike had the greatest show of all time. I heard Howard Stern himself was even on the edge of his seat waiting for it to happen. Unfortunately, Tyler Pike did Tyler Pike things, and just like the Dallas Cowboys, he didn't show up. So Thanks, Tyler, for really carrying the show and doing what you're supposed to do. So, any comments to end the show?
CJ asked, no Monday love this time?
No, I'll get to it, buddy. I wasn't there on Monday. I'll get to it.
Yeah. Then that's it. Other than Kenny says, shut up, Connor, you're drunk.
Yep. He is.
I've got a great soundbite I'll bring in next week. A new one from the Water Boy.
Okay.
It's gonna be.
I do want.
I'm sorry, Mom. I'm tired of everybody thinking I'm a dummy.
I do want to shout out to CJ for stepping in. He played a little with Nasty Boys, helped us out when when we were missing guys. And I watched a little down there with him. He played good. You know, he was on a team of guys that were put together, and that's always a tough scenario. And he balled out the best he can, and I'm hoping to get him involved in some of our travels this year. CJ's one of those players. He really he's humbled himself up over the year. I think he's really trying to get better at everything, and he is. He's really progressing it a lot, and I like to see that.
Awesome.
Shout out to Jay Townsend again, taking one home. I was actually momentarily really pissed off at him when we went on the stage because he starts doing it like he's in charge, which I get it, but I'm there, number one. Number two, I told him fucking settle down because, one, any decisions that are made, I want people to be mad at me for it, not him. Two, when they go give us the trophy, he takes it. First of all, I wanted to give it to him, okay, because I don't think he thought he was going to keep it. I think he was just taking it because he really did. Because when I told him it's his, he was surprised because I can read people's faces sometimes. Yeah. But when they brought it over, he took it, and I was going for it. I know he saw me going for it, but he took it, and I was pissed. But he might have wanted to be the first one to touch it. I have no idea. But I was gonna give it to him because he deserves it. You know, he really put a lot into keeping that team alive. Yeah. Hey, shout out to Jarrett for working his way back from a torn ACL to go play. Very tough to be thrown out there after an injury for your first tournament, and I thought he played well. He didn't play perfect, but I thought he played well, and hopefully he gets a little fire under his ass to really push on and keep going and doing these because I loved having him and his I don't know if they're married yet, but him and his wife around. They're both great people. That's awesome. And shout out to everybody involved with the Nasty Nation Airbnb and the Nasty Nation trip. I couldn't have done it without you guys. I love all you guys. You're all there because I hold you very high in regards. But so many. It was a big Airbnb, but there was kind of one common area, and there was just a lot, and people doing dishes all the time. People were helping out like crazy, and it was very difficult because at night I couldn't even move, and I felt so bad. Like I had to walk around and do some things and make it look like I was trying to help out, but I was in so much pain, and I know any one of them, if I said, hey, can you do the dishes so I can lay down, or they would have. I just, just sometimes knowing that somebody's willing to do that. But everybody was awesome. And I'll rock out, obviously with everybody again. I do want to shout out AP if he's listening. Kid kicked ass. He really played well and stepped up, made some big plays. I shout out, honestly, everybody there. But, AP came down there not even knowing if he was going to play. He was ready on a snap if we needed him. He would play any position, and he proved that he can ball at that next level. I mean, there was no, hey, go fill in, and he was the weakest link. That didn't happen. No, AP played great. So shout out and thank you again. Thank you for everybody. And you want to throw up the schedule for the Worlds next year?
Oh yeah, let me see here.
So not next year, this year.
While I'm doing that, Kevin, QB Kev, wants to say, put it out there, he's a free agent for fundamental non-contact.
Yeah, I know he's trying to piss me off.
Oh,
I'm going to freak out on him, though, because he did post that, and I'm fucking going to yell at him. Dude's an asshole. I'm waiting on him because I'm trying to get a team in there. I want to really bad, and waiting on something for him. And he just posts that he's a free agent. And I fucking, if he did that, if he was on my couch, I think it would have tortilla smacked him in the face.
Are you mad?
You got the schedule up?
Yeah, it's up now. Yeah.
All right, so this is the schedule for the USA Flag travel. All the their tournaments. There's some sanctioned tournaments out there that aren't on the list, but these are the ones that they run and do. I highlighted the blue ones that Nasty Nation is looking to go to. A lot of 4-man, 5-man, air it out, gauntlet, and co-ed. So if you're interested in any one of these and can make them, hit me up privately. I already have a Vegas chat going, and once they launch the schedule, I know for sure what styles we're going to be playing and everything. But these are the ones we're definitely doing. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about them. The only one that potentially might not happen is Cedar Point, because those 3 in a row might be tough. But the Cedar Point, it's cheap out there. It's cheap flights. It just might be a little too close in New York. Depending on what's going on locally, it might be tough. So that's the only one that it's a maybe, but in my head, I'm doing it. So, all right. Either way, let me know. Like I said, I always find a room for somebody, and they're good trips, and you meet some new people, have some fun. So, can I comment send it? Besides Kevin's, I'm gonna freak out.
Nope, he's the last one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for listening to me ramble for an hour and a half. Sorry I didn't have any guests, but I had a lot to talk about. Wanted to get it over, give some shout outs, and I didn't want to be interrupted by Tyler Pike and how great Cam Lauren is, and he probably got a black lightsaber, I'm sure, because he's the man. So, all right. Good night, Grace. Tune in next week.
T, Pike, and Steve-O, fooling on the pod. Talking about Bedford, which A-team is a fraud. Making top 10 lists, hella controversy. Don't be playing cheap, tuck in that jersey. Getting new sweatshirts, A-Division dub. Tune in every Tuesday, drop a like and sub, ayy.